All right, hello and welcome everyone to mission one of our Bluetext lab, in which we're going to be creating a game using Bluetext. Now, if you're watching this video, your VS Code environment likely looks something like this, if not identical to what you're seeing on the screen right now. The Bluetext extension open on the left from where you press to watch video, Polytope running in the terminal at the bottom of the screen, and then our chat with Copilot open on the right. Bluetext is a tool that makes it very easy and quick to scaffold out a system composed of multiple services. However, to get you guys familiar with how Bluetext works in this lab, we're going to stick to using just one service, which is the front-end service, which is all we require to make a very simple game. Think something like Pac-Man, Pong, or Snake. So we can go to the Bluetext extension and head over to the Add and Run service tool. You can also take advantage of this search bar on the top. I'm going to select React Web App, Add to Stack, and leave the custom name blank. You can name it something if you want, as long as you stick to using one word. Now, a number of things have happened now. Firstly, our front-end template actually got scaffolded into our directory. If we head on over to here, we can open the File Explorer, and this was previously empty, or just had a polytope.yaml file in it, but now this tool scaffolded out the front-end template. It also scaffolded out the general project structure. So clients, config, models, and services directories have all been scaffolded out into our project. Now, to take a look at our template, we can see at the bottom here that the React web app is running on localhost 51732. However, because we're running in a virtual machine, we cannot simply click this and expect it to open in our locally installed Google Chrome or browser. So what we have to do is go back to where we found all of our login credentials for VS Code Server, our API key, etc. And here you can see the link for our browser access, which essentially opens a Chromium that's running with Docker on our virtual machine. So what we can do is go back to our Polytope UI, and if you don't see this here, you can click on the terminal with your mouse and navigate with your arrow keys down to services, press enter, and from here you can just copy paste this address and paste it into our Google Chrome. So make sure not to paste it here, but actually in the search bar of Google Chromium itself. Then we can see our template. So our coding agent, as soon as we talk to our coding agent and tell it what changes to make, it's going to see that A, we have a template of components it can make use of or remove. If it's making a game, it probably won't look anything like this. And B, the coding agent will see that we actually have a front end up and running, and we'll see which directory that I should make changes to for us to see a change in our front end that we ask it to make. So before we start prompting using Copilot, we can double check that we have the Polytope MCP server running. If we click on settings and MCP servers, and then right click here on this Polytope icon with the logo next to it, and we right click, and we should see start server. So we can start that from there. And now we can see discovered 54 tools. Nice, that's great. So if we right click again, we should see stop server just to double check that it's currently running and didn't crash or anything. So now we're ready to actually speak to the coding agent and make a request. I am going to think of a prompt, and then I'm going to paste it so you guys can look at it, and then I'm going to send it over to the coding agent. It's maybe worth mentioning that the model I'm using right now is Gemini 3 Pro Preview. I had a very smooth experience working with it, given this setup with Copilot. But if you want, feel free to experiment with any of the other models that you have access to with the OpenRouter API key. So before I send the prompt, we can maybe go through it and explain why I'm including what I'm including in the prompt. So I said I have a front end up and running in Polytope. This is just to let the coding agent know that it's likely going to have to make use of the Polytope MCP tools and that we already have the basis of our app created. Then I said, or the template of our app, rather scaffolded. Then I said, at the home route, where the template currently is, make a snake game that I can play. Now, the reason why I'm saying at the home route because if I go here, where the home route is of our front end, this is exactly where we want our snake game or game to come up. A lot of the times, if you leave it up to the coding agent, it will make a new route, for example, snake game, and then we will have to navigate to there. But we just want to make sure that it's all happening on the same page in our front end template, or at the same route. And then I also added make it very colorful. Once the coding agent is finished, we'll come back and see what it came up with. And remember, to view our app, all we have to do is go back here to our front end template. So it's now asking me to run the initialize session tool. That's a Polytope tool that is essentially ran to give the coding agent context for the length of that session or conversation. So I'm just going to press allow in this session. So right now you can see that it did make some changes to the logic, which is exactly what we were hoping for it to do. I just pressed keep or accept, and the coding agent will continue working. Another benefit of having a template is that there is less work for the coding agent to do, but then by extension, we're also saving tokens or saving money because the coding agent can, in a sense, just pick up from where we left off and take the last few steps towards creating a game from that template, rather than making everything from scratch. All right, so Copilot let me know that the game is finished, or that it's finished making the game. I gave it a test. I got a score of 1, so not really impressive. But yeah, let's just go ahead and give you guys a test of how it looks. I did ask it to make it colorful, and it did just that. The snake looks kind of like a rainbow or some sort of gradient, and it actually plays pretty smoothly. So yeah, in the next video, we're going to be making a full stack app, which is going to be a job application portal that will make use of, as you can probably imagine, a front end. So the front end tool that we're using now, but also an API and Couchbase, which is a database that we were going to be using to store the job applications and user information. Thanks guys for watching, and catch you in the next video.